Now just before you continue watching this video, please note that I do talk about major spoilers from Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame. So if you have yet to see the film, then I'd highly recommend that you click off this video and go see it as soon as possible, because it is hands down the must-see film of the year. What's going on, everybody? It's GAMEUNBOXINGREVIEWS here, and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 video. So in today's video, I'm of course going to be showing you guys how to make Nebula from Avengers Endgame using the Endgame Customizer. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so to start off with, we're of course going to be making the appearance. So first up, of course, we need to head into the head section, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find Nebula's head, which is of course this piece right here. Then once you've done that, you're going to back out of there. We don't need a neck piece, an attachment piece, or a helmet, but we do of course need to change the hands. And for the left hand, you're going to go with this dark grey right here, while the right hand needs to match the skin tone. And it is a little bit confusing at first, because as you can see here, these blues are very similar, but I would say that this one is probably the closest to Nebula's skin color. Anyway, once you've done that, you're of course going to back out of there, and we're going to head into body, and you're going to scroll all the way to the top until you find Star-Lord's Ravager jacket. Now, Star-Lord's Ravager jacket is a piece that is included in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 character and level pack, so you will need that DLC if you want to be able to make my very own custom version of Nebula in this game. Anyway, for the arms, we're going to be choosing two separate pieces as well. So for the left arm, this is of course going to be the robotic one, and you want to scroll all the way to the bottom until you find Electro 2099's arm. While the right arm, I believe if I remember correctly, that was also a DLC arm. So we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom until we find Kraglin. So again, you will need that DLC if you want to be able to make this custom character. Now then, for the hips, we're going to go ahead and choose Star-Lord's Ravager jacket ones once again. So we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and choose these ones right here. And then for the legs, we're yet again going to do exactly the same. So we're just going to scroll all the way to the bottom until we find these legs right here. Nice. Now then, onto the weapons. Now, similar to Black Widow, Nebula of course has these really cool electrical batons, and while we sadly can't get those exact weapons in this game, we can of course try to recreate them using the weapons that are available. So what I'd suggest is if you head on into swords, sword type, and scroll all the way to the bottom until you find the Gladius, we're going to choose that. You're going to make sure that it is in both hands, and then for the sword color, there's quite a few colors here that you could go with, but I would say the best one is probably this gray right here. Nice. Now then, onto the abilities. So first up, of course, we need to give Nebula some passive abilities. So let's see here. I think I'm going to give her grapple, wall climbing, techno access. We don't need magic or mind control, but we will add crack Lego walls, fix-its, vine cut, super strength, and to top it off, I think we'll add tracking. Nice. Now then, for the rest of the abilities, on tap square, we're going to add fighting. On hold square, we're going to add the boomerang ability. On tap circle, I think we'll just leave that, but on hold circle, you're going to add the beam ability. So we're going to turn that on. Make sure that the beam damage type is an electric beam. For the beam style, we're going to go with the first one. For the beam color, you're going to go with this blue right here. And then for the beam origin, we're of course going to go with weapon, because as you can see here, that looks really, really cool. Now then, for the X button, on double tap X, we're going to add double jump, and I think we'll just leave hyper jump on hold X. Nice. Now then, onto the passive traits. So for the health icon, I'm just going to go with this blue right here. For the health type, we're going to go with standard health. For the voice, just choose any female voice. For the speed, go with default, and for the target reticle, I would say probably go with this red one right here. Alright, cool. So we have done the appearance, the abilities, the weapons, and the passive traits. So now what we need to do is name her and choose a background image. So I think for the background image, we'll go with this one right here, and obviously for the name of the character, we're of course going to put Nebula in all caps, because that's how it registers them in this game. Nice. Alright, cool. So now of course what we're going to do is drop Nebula into the hub world and see just what she can do. And here she is! This is of course my custom made Nebula from Avengers Endgame, made in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. Let's just get a good look at it right here. Now overall, I am very happy with the way that this design turned out. Yes, it's not 100% accurate, but still, if you actually look at Nebula in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, you'll find that she's still rocking her Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 design. So I wanted to update her look by giving her a brand new Ravager uniform, which personally I think looks really cool in this game. Anyway, enough chit chat. What can she actually do? Well, of course she can jump and double jump in the air. In terms of melee combat, she can attack using these weapons, which are meant to be electrical batons, but sadly they're not actually actually in the game. We can also of course throw these weapons as well at multiple objects and enemies, which is a lot of fun. And finally of course we have the ability to shoot electricity from the batons as well, just like I did with Black Widow in LEGO DC Supervillains. Anyway, now of course what we're going to do is head on into Chronopolis and fight some crime. Just as another friendly reminder, I am about to talk about major spoilers from Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame in this section of the video. So again, if you haven't seen the movie, then please click off the video right now, because you do not want this film spoiled for you. Now, our first introduction to Nebula in Avengers Endgame was of course during a scene between her and Tony Stark as they play a little game on board the Benatar. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this scene. It was just nice to finally see Nebula actually having some fun for once, especially after everything that she has gone through. Not just with Thanos, but also the fact that she was still reeling over the news of Gamora's death, literally just after they truly became sisters. It was also great to see her get some closure with Thanos on Titan 2 before, well, you know, and I thought it was really cool to see Nebula getting to interact with the Avengers, who she had not only befriended, but also joined, before spending those 5 years since the snap traveling throughout the world with Rocket, something that could totally be touched on more in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, either in conversation or through flashbacks, which would be very cool to see. Now, I believe Nebula also took a particular liking to War Machine, as we of course see the two travel from 2023 to Morag in 2014 from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and I absolutely love the fact that they actually gave us a throwback to that awesome opening dance scene with Star-Lord singing, only this time without any music, instead with Rhodey calling Quill an idiot before literally knocking him out. I mean, the sound his punch makes when it hits his head is just hilarious. And there's also that great scene with Scott Lang before the Morag one, where Nebula says, "Rhodey, careful on re-entry, there's an idiot in the landing zone." Just brilliant. Now, going back to the beginning of the movie, one other thing that I liked is that we get this really great scene before Captain Marvel rescues them, where Nebula gives Tony the last available source of food on board the Benatar. And it's honestly moments like that which are quickly making Nebula one of my favourite characters, because she's had arguably some of the most interesting character development in the entirety of the MCU. I mean, for instance, just take the scene where Nebula is trying to convince Gamora that Thanos is wrong before she literally kills her past self. Now granted, it is future Nebula from 2023 and 2014 Gamora from the past, but still, I thought that was a really nice spin on their friendship as sisters, because we're always used to seeing it the other way around, with Gamora trying to get Nebula to see reason. Point is, Karen Gillan just continues to deliver an incredible performance as Nebula in the MCU, and I'm extremely excited to see what lies in store for the future of her character, both in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and beyond. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Now, according to the Russo brothers, who are of course the directors of Avengers Endgame, starting tomorrow we can finally start talking about Endgame spoilers in public, probably because you won't actually be able to avoid them anymore due to the release of this week's new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer, which is actually said to feature a spoiler warning from Peter Parker himself, Tom Holland. So just as another heads up, starting tomorrow I will be making custom characters that are related to spoilers from Avengers Endgame. Now don't worry, I'm starting off with something small at first. Personally, I wouldn't even call it a spoiler, but I'm hoping to recreate some of the more spoilery stuff eventually. Anyway guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.